We'll start now. Basically, see, if at all you want to create, I repeat again, if at all you want to create a hibernate application, there are 4 files required. That is what we discussed. And I told we are going to use build tool as maven, right? Maven is a build tool. So basically, there are some things that you need to know about maven. So we are not going into in detail about maven, but for creating an application, whatever is required, that I'm just going to explain you. When working with maven, the project, for creating a project, which is called as maven project. So for creating maven projects, okay, so we have archetypes. Archetypes are nothing but templates. They're also called as templates. For creating maven projects, we have archetypes. Those archetypes are also called as what? Templates. They are called what? Templates. Okay, let's start. Let's get started. So mainly we are creating non-web application. If you are creating a simple Java project, for example, then we use archetype. Use archetype as the archetype name is maven archetype quick start. Maven archetype quick start. And suppose if you are creating a web application, web app project means web application project, then we have to use archetype as, these are the only 2 archetypes you remember. Archetype as maven archetype web app. These are for creating the project structure. They are templates for creating the projects. They are templates for creating the projects. We have to use archetypes. One archetype is nothing but what? One template. Okay, so one template for creating Java project, one template for creating web application project. Like that, already in Maven, built-in templates are there. Each template is called as what? Archetype. Okay, and now, yeah, now we are creating simple Java project. We are not creating a web application project. We are creating what? A simple Java project. So when our project is a simple Java project, we are going to choose archetype as what? Maven archetype what? Quick start. Maven archetype quick start is a simple archetype for creating the Java project. That's what we are going to use it. And one more, when we are creating a Maven project, there are some project coordinates. I'm just explaining about only whatever is required for you to start with the first example. So there are Maven project coordinates are there. So what are the Maven project coordinates? Is one is called group ID. Group ID is nothing but a unique ID of your client. So I mean to say that what, for a client, multiple projects can be created. For a client, multiple projects can be created. All those projects are going to contain the same group ID. One group ID uniquely represents an ID for a group of projects. I repeat once again, a group ID is nothing but a unique ID to represent or to identify a group of projects. So for example, I am working for so-and-so client. Okay. For example, I am an employee of Infi. I am an employee of Infosys. But we are creating a project for Verizon. We are creating an application for Verizon. Means Verizon is my client. Okay, right? So that client Verizon needs 4 projects. 4 different projects they want. What happens now? Those 4 projects have 4 names. But Those 4 projects belongs to one client only now. So means what? All those 4 projects are going to contain one group ID. So group ID is nothing but a unique ID to identify the group of projects of a client. That is called group ID. So whenever we are getting any maven project, you need to specify what is the group ID of this maven project. What is the group ID of this maven project? That we need to specify. That is called what ID? Group ID. So group ID is nothing but a unique ID to identify a group of projects of a client. A group of projects of a client. That is called group ID. Okay. The next one. Now after the group ID, then we have something called as artifact ID. Artifact ID is nothing but your project name. And then version. What is the version you want to give for your project? Project version. Project version. Group ID, artifact ID, and version. These are called maven project coordinates. So whenever you are creating a maven project, you must enter group ID, you must enter artifact ID, and also you must provide the version number for your project. Your project version number. These are the 3 coordinates required to create the maven project. Okay. And one more thing that you should know in maven is what you have to do is you have to do like this. What you do is whenever you create a maven project, so the main file in maven is pom.xml, and that is the indication of project object model. That is the main. We can say the main file in maven project is pom.xml. Okay. POM stands for what? Project object model. Okay, that is a main file. Actually, why I am calling it as main file? Because in this file, we are going to write all our project dependencies. Dependency is nothing but we are going to configure the jar files required for our application to compile and execute our application. Okay, what will happen if I write there? If I write the dependencies in the pom.xml, maven will automatically download them from the maven central repository. That's the reason why whenever you are creating maven project, you must have your system connected with internet. Why? Because maven has to download many things for your project to build. To build your project, it needs many files. So from where maven will download all of them? Maven will download them from the central repository. Maven has one central repository. There, everything related to Java projects they have in that central repository. So from there, maven will download all the files into your system and will store in your system. That is called local repository. So your system maintains local repository. Maven maintains central repository. Files are downloaded from central repository to the local repository. Every time it will not download. If the same files again required, if the same jar files, same version of the jar files is required, then it will use it from your local repository only. If not available in local repository, then only it will go to the central repository and it will download the files from the central repository and will store them again into local repository. And the same files will be used in other applications also. So that is what the maven will follow the formula. Coming to the point, in maven project, there is a file called pom.xml. Pom stands for project object model. What the purpose of this file is mainly to configure the dependencies. Dependencies are nothing but what we can call them as jar files. For example, I want to create a hibernate project. I need to configure the hibernate dependencies. If I am creating a spring project, then what? I need to configure the spring projects. Right? If I am creating some struts project, then I need to configure the struts dependencies, nothing but struts jar files. So who will automatically download the jar files? Maven. So you no need to download explicitly hibernate jar files or spring jar files now. Who will take care of downloading them? Maven will take care of downloading them, right? Maven will take care of downloading them. So where should I configure them? In a file. What is the file name? pom.xml. So what is the statement I want right here? Mainly in pom.xml, you have to configure the, what you have to configure? You have to configure the dependencies, nothing but jars. Mainly you have to configure the dependencies, nothing but jars. Okay. In the pom.xml, mainly you have to configure the dependencies. That is nothing but jars. What Maven will do? Maven will download the jars from where? Maven central repository. Maven central repository, and will store them into the local repository. Into local repository. I repeat again. Okay. We'll store them into the local repository. Why it is storing in local repository? It don't want to download again. How many times it want to download? One time only, right? It wants to download it for only one time. One time it won't download, not every time. You are getting my point, right? One time only it will download. It will download for one time only. Next time it won't download again. From where it will use them? Local repository. Yes. Okay. So let me show you. Okay. Let me show you the location of the local repository. See, the local repository is created by default in every system here. Where is that? In C drive. In C drive, there is a folder called users, and this is my username, that is admin. And here you can find one folder called .m2. There is a folder called .m2. .m2 is a folder, and inside the .m2 folder, you can see one folder called what? Repository. This is the local repository. So what is the location of the local repository? C drive, users, username, that is admin, then .m2, then repository. Just understand, this is a local repository. This is called what repository? Local. Whenever you execute first Maven project, this repository is automatically created in your local machine. This is called what repository? Local repository. What will be stored in this local repository? All the files whichever is downloaded by Maven from central repository, all of them will be stored into the local repository. So basically, I want to tell you the location. So the location of local repository is, location of local repository is. So what is the location of local repository? C drive. In C drive, you have users folder. In that you have your username folder. In my system, it is admin. In this current system, it is admin /.m2 /repository. Okay. Okay, guys, are you getting my point? Everyone? Yes. Okay. Everyone, are you getting my point? Right. So when you are executing for first time, when you are executing your application for first time, Maven has to download everything from central repository. If you are creating same project again, same type of the project again with the same version, you are creating another project, then everything will be used from local repository. Will not download again second time from central repository, right? Generally, what we are doing, suppose if you are downloading some jar file from internet, you are keeping in C drive, E drive, F drive, somewhere you are keeping it. But later, after 1 month, again you need the same jar file, but you forgot where you placed it. What do you do? Simply, we'll download for one more time. This time we'll keeping in some other drive. That memory is wasted now. But what happens in Maven? In Maven, it is not like that. Maven will keep all of them into one place only. What is that? Local repository, so that it will not download again. So your system memory is also saved, right? Good. This is the location where you can see that. Now, coming to the other point, what I have to explain you is, okay, I will explain you. Yeah. Okay. So we'll discuss again, but first I want to continue my concept. In the pom.xml, we read the dependency tag like this. Okay. So in pom.xml, I'm writing here in pom.xml. So we write the dependency tag like this. Dependency tag like below. See, I'm writing like this now. For example, I'm writing. There is a tag called what? Dependency, right? There is a tag in that XML called dependency tag will be there. You can see that in our first example, dependency. Dependency tag contains a group ID tag. So here we type the group ID. For example, I will tell you how we can add the group ID. Okay. Let me explain you how we can add the group ID here. Just understand what is the point I'm saying now. Okay. Group ID. For example, I'm writing group ID. For example, org.hibernate. So all Hibernate jar files are identified with a group ID called org.hibernate. What is org.hibernate? Is a group ID for Hibernate artifacts. Artifacts means files. One artifact means one file. We have a word called artifact in Maven. Artifact meaning file. Okay. Group ID means a unique ID. So all Hibernate jars are uniquely identified with a group ID called org.hibernate. Artifact ID means name of the jar file. Name of the jar file. So what is the name of the jar file here? The name of the jar file is, say for example, hibernate-core. For example, I'm writing. To explain you, I'm writing this, okay? Artifact ID. What? Group ID. org.hibernate. Artifact ID. Hibernate-core. Okay. This is the name of the jar file. Then version. Then version. So I say version, for example, something like this now. Say 5.12.final, something by version. Then close the dependency tag. Dependency. Okay. You got my point, right? Now what can I say? This is the pom.xml file. And we read the dependency tag like this. So we have a dependency tag. In the dependency tag, we have a group ID. We have an artifact ID. Then we have a version tag also. So these are all the things you have to write in what? Under dependency tag in the pom.xml. So what is the group ID for all Hibernate jar files? org.hibernate. Okay. And this is the main jar file in Hibernate projects. What is the name? Hibernate-core. This is a main jar file in Hibernate projects. Next one, version. Okay, version we may change to 5.12 or 2.2. That depends. Okay. This is a way of writing the dependency tag in the pom.xml file. So mainly what is the important file in Maven projects? pom.xml. Pom stands for project object model. What is the use of pom.xml? To configure the jar files, nothing but dependencies. In Hibernate, one advantage is there. If you configure the main jar file, it will download the main jar file and also will download the sub jar files. So for example, A is a jar file and B is a jar file. A jar file depends on B jar file. Then what Maven will do? Maven will download the A jar file and B jar file also. That's an advantage of Maven. I repeat once again, right? So Maven will download not only the given jar file in the pom.xml, it will also download the sub jar files. Otherwise, we can call them as dependent jar files. All those dependency jar files are also get downloaded. Who will take care of that? Maven will take care of that. We don't worry. Where Maven will store all of them downloaded files? into one place. The file name is, sorry, the location is C drive users admin dot m2 slash repository. That is the location of what repository? Local repository. That's clear. That's clear. And coming to Maven projects. See, I'm just giving a brief idea fastly so that we can start our first example of Hibernate today. Okay, guys? Okay, coming to the point. When you are creating Maven projects, you can able to see one folder. I mean, whenever we create a Maven project in our IDE, in our Eclipse IDE, whenever we start creating Maven project, under the project, you can see a location called src/main/java. That is a location where Java source code files can be stored. Maven will always follow naming conventions. What Maven will follow? The naming conventions. Maven will follow some naming conventions. What is the naming convention? Maven wants to have your Java files at src/main/java. And your test cases that we are not writing in our class, JUnit test cases should be there in src/test/java. And other files like XML files or text files or SQL files, if any other files are there, those files must be placed in src/main/resources. So these are the three important folders in the Maven projects. What are the three important folders? src/main/java. Okay. Observe what should be kept in this source code files. Source code files means what? Whatever the Java files you are writing. For example, I am creating one what we can call as one Java class I am creating, one client program I am creating, right? Or one DAO class I am writing. So all my Java files are to keep in src/main/java. That is a location for what? To store the source code files. So this is for source code. This is for source code files. src/test/java. This is for test cases. This is for test code files. Okay. src/main/resources. And this is for other files. Other files means other resources. Resources, I mean files. Other files means like XML files or properties files or text files, for all other files. Blah, blah, blah. I'm not writing everything. So these are the three important folders in Maven projects. So what are the three important folders? src/main/java. Next one, src/test/java. Next one, src/main/resources. So in Maven projects, you have to keep all your Java files under source code files in src/main/java. Where do you keep your test case files? src/test/java. And where do you keep other files like XML files, properties files, text files, blah, blah, blah? src/main/resources. Okay, very good. Guys, are you getting my point? Have you understood? Reply C, Aryan. Thank you. Okay, guys. Now let's move on. Sure. Okay. Now, just I would like to show. Again, I will delete this project, but I just want to show that. See, I would like to start my Eclipse. Okay, right? I want to start Eclipse. So just I'm writing something like this. Now this is my workspace. As you are aware of Eclipse and how do you work with Eclipse? You know about how to work with Eclipse. It's not new for you. My Eclipse is going to start now. Now my requirement is first I want to go to file menu, then I go for new, then I go for maven project. If this option is not visible to you, just go to project. If this is visible to you, it's well and good. It is well and good. If in case not visible to you, just go to this option called project. And here you can see a folder called maven. And in this maven folder, you can able to find the maven project option. So directly, if you are having this option here, you can click on that. If in case it's not visible to you, for example, if you look at this file, new, but you can see now this time you are not finding any maven project. But how do you create the maven project this time? You have to go for project dot dot dot. Then there is a folder called maven. Then select the project as maven project. Got my point? Yes. Now file, new, what I'm selecting? Maven project. In the first screen, we are nothing to enter as it is. Already this checkbox is selected. Use default workspace location. You don't make any changes in this window. Just click on next. And you have to wait for some time. Whenever you are creating maven project, your system should be connected with internet. Okay, if you wait for some seconds, 10 seconds around, you got a very big list here. And now there is a filter box. In the filter box, you type maven -archetype -quickstart, QUICKSTART. Then you are getting 3 options. Choose the last one. Last one, I mean apache.maven. This one you have to choose. The last one. Then click on next. Now here you need to enter what? Group ID. Okay, I just want this group ID com.ait. Okay, right? Just I'm writing com.ait is a group ID. Means what? All the projects I'm creating for Ashok IT. So I'm just writing group ID as what? Generally, group ID means reverse name of the company domain name, client domain name. Suppose client domain name is ashokit.com. Then what's the reverse name? com.ashokit. Like that, we need to write. Of course, I'm writing com.aat. What's the next one? Artifact ID. Nothing but project name. So, for example, project name is a first application, first app, or first application. Assume that. Or hibernate first application, something like that. Hibernate first application. Okay, hibernate first application, for example. Next one is what? Version. Version, by default, it will provide 001, 0.0.1 snapshot. You can remove this. You can type your own version. Say 1.1, your project version, your wish. If you want to keep the same version, keep it like that. Otherwise, you can change. Otherwise, you can change. Up to you. Provide your package name. Package name nothing but for your Java files, which package you want to create. One package name I can type here, but I need many packages in my project. You can create manually. But how many package names we can type here? One package name we can type. For example, I'm writing com.ait. For example, Pojo. Or we use a word entity, any word. Okay. We are mapping our Java class with a database table. Na? We call that class as entity class. We call it as entity class. Entity class means a Java class which is mapped with which has mappings with the database table. That class is called entity class, or in our terms it is Pojo class. In Hibernate terms it is entity class. Something. So one package name I have entered, com.ait.entity. Then I'm just going to say what? Finish. Right? Okay. In the console, you are getting the option Y. Just type Y, then you are getting a message called what? Build success. Okay, now we can see. Of course, I just want to increase the font size. It's just only to increase the font size. I'm just only increasing the font size so that you can able to see the project bit better. Okay, now we can see Hibernate first application. If I expand it, you are finding src/main/java. Then you are finding one more location, src/test/java. And at the bottom also you are getting one folder called src. The src visible to you on top, src visible to you on the bottom, both are same. Both are src only. Here you can expand it. src you can expand. What are you going to see? Main and test. Main and test are visible to you now. Next, when I open main, what is visible to you? Java. See, first one is src/main/java, na? Right. Okay. So both are same. If I open test folder, what is the folder? Java. You can see src/what? Test/what? Java. The same folder, na? Okay. Very good. I told what is the main file here? What is the main file in this maven project is pom.xml. Please listen, I will explain. I want this font. Yeah. If I open the pom.xml, you can see the file pom.xml file is looking like this. Okay, right. What is the group ID I have given? com.at. What is the root? What is the root tag of this XML? Project. This is pom.xml, not our Hibernate XML. This is maven tool XML. Okay, this is not written by us. It is automatically generated. Automatically generated. What is the file name? pom.xml. Okay, there are many tags are there. We are nothing to worry. Just go to compiler source. By default, it provides 1.7. Java's 1.7 version. But I am using Java 11 version. I am using Java 11 version. So what I'm doing? Change to 11. Change to 11. Change to 11. First do that. Close. Save it. Control yes. Next, there is an important section called what? Dependencies. Here only we need to add our dependency tag. What tag we need to add here? Dependency. One tag is there, na? Right. Where do I add the dependency tag? Under dependencies. What's the tag I need to add? Dependency. One tag I need to add. Dependency. Dependency. What the dependency tag contain? Child tags, group ID, artifact ID, version. Like that we need to write. Group ID. Group ID. Okay. Group ID. I'm not writing anything, just I'm explaining. What's the next one? Artifact ID. What's the next one? Version. Like that we need to write. Like this we need to write. Group ID, artifact ID, then version. Okay, of course I have not written any value, but you would write like this. Just I'm explaining. So what is the main file here? Pom. What's the main file? Pom.xml. That is the main file in the what? Maven project. The project contains this file. What's the file name? Pom.xml. What is the importance of this file? To configure the dependencies. Where do you configure the dependencies? Under one tag. What's the tag? Dependencies tag. Already there is one dependency comes here. This is which dependency? JUnit. You keep it like that. By default, every project in Maven will get this. You don't worry, it is not related to us. Okay, we are not looking for this. It is there, keep it like that. You add remaining. Whatever you want, you add now. Okay, right, good. This is src/main/java. What can I keep here? Source code. If I open, what is the one package name I have entered? com.ait.entity. If I open it, by default one Java file is created by default. Hello world program. What's the file name? app.java. You can see it's a hello world program now, but I don't want hello world program in my application, so I can delete this file. App.java file, delete. 1 minute. What I'm saying, this app.java file, right click, delete. But the file is deleted now. Right. This is a way of creating Maven project. Okay, of course, I will tell you in the pom.xml file, we need to add the dependencies for hibernate. I will explain. Multiple dependencies we need to add, I will explain them. But currently what I'm asking you, what is the concept I'm trying to tell you is pom.xml file looks like this. It's a very big XML, but this XML is not created by us. It is automatically generated. Which section is important? Dependency section important. Under the dependency section, what tag we have to write? Dependency tag. That is only you remember, remaining nothing. And after adding dependency tag, or after changing the compiler source 11, target 11, like that, then what you have to do? You have to update the project. You have to update. See here, what is the compiler source version? I have changed it to 11 version. But what is the system library? Still you have 1.7 only, 1.7 only you have now. Right click, Maven. Your option called Maven now. Yes, Maven update project. You have to click on this. Then say okay. Now you see, earlier Java SE, which version you saw? 1.7. But now you saw, now you are seeing 1.11. Got it now? Next, I told one folder is missing here. Which folder is missing? You can see the two folders are visible to you, but which one is not visible? You have to manually create it. You have to create it what? Manually. How do you create it manually? src folder, you open it. You have a main folder. Right click on main folder, new folder. What's the folder name? Resources. What's the folder name? Resources. Resources folder is created now. Again, update the project. How to update this Maven project? Right click on the project, Maven update project. Then say okay. Got it now? Now we can see what? src/main/resources. You got my point? Yes, you got it. Very good. src/main/resources is visible to you now. Very good. But it is automatically created, or we have to manually create the resources folder? Manually you have to create the resource folder. Now you got the way of how we can create a maven project now, right? Very good. So first what I would like to do is I want to delete this. Now it is again empty. You got my point, right? So what we want to do today, we want to start writing the hibernate first application. Hibernate first application we want to write. To write the hibernate first application using maven, what are the files required first of all in hibernate project? Means what are the main files or what are the files required to create a hibernate application? Pojo class required. Pojo class is nothing but your normal Java class. In hibernate terms, it is called what class? Entity class. It is called what? Entity class. Next, what is required? One mapping file required. Next, what is required? Configuration file required. Next, what is required? Client program is required. In a client program, we perform database operations. In a client program, we will save the object to database. We will load the object from database. That is called client program. Client program is nothing but we will write one class called DAO class. What class we write? DAO class we write. One DAO class we write to perform the database operations. And we will call the DAO class methods from main program. Main program, right? Okay, good. So first we'll start writing the first application. In the first application, what we want to do, very simple example we will take up. Very simple example we will take up in the first application. What is the example we want to take up is, I have, okay, our requirement is, we want to create first one, simple Java class or Pojo class. Say that Pojo class name is, okay, that Pojo class name is product. Okay. What's the Pojo class name? Product is a Pojo class. Product. That is a Pojo class. You're getting my point, right? Okay. We'll take any other one. It doesn't matter product or student, something like that. Okay. Okay. Let us take one student class. We have a simple Java class called student. We want to map the student class with the student table. In a student class, I have properties, student ID, student name, and even I can take gender and marks. Okay. What are the names? Student ID, student name, gender, marks. And in the database table, I have 4 columns. I will map these 4 variables with 4 columns. Means what I am creating first one, student class. Then I am creating mapping file. Then I am creating configuration file. Then I am start writing client program. Directly I am not writing client program. First I will write the DAO class. Which class I will write? DAO. DAO class first I want to write. After writing the DAO class, then next I want to write the, first I will write the DAO class. After that I will write the client program. In a DAO class, I will create a method. That method I will call from main. Okay. So for example, I want to create a method to save a student to database. I will call that method from main. Whenever I call the method from main, then student should be stored in database. We are using Hibernate to do all these things, right? So what are the files I'm creating is one Java file, student.java. Next, I am creating one mapping file, student.hbm.xml. Next, I am creating one configuration file. What is the name? hibernate.cfg.xml. Next, I am creating one client program. I am writing one DAO class also. I am also creating one DAO class. Okay, right. So these are all the things we will write in the first example. And we are creating our application through what? Maven. Maven is a build tool, right? Build tool, right? Okay, good. So you keep the heading. I will tell you. Project structure I will explain. Keep the heading. First application. First application. I'm just explaining here. First application. Project structure. First application project structure. Guys, are you getting my point in online? Have you understood? what we are creating, what we want to create. Have we got it right? Okay. So then, yeah, nice guys. Nice. Listen to me clearly. Otherwise, you miss the flow. If you miss the flow of the first example, then you cannot learn anything else. Okay. First example is very important. Okay. First, I want to write the project structure. If you miss the first example, you can't understand Hibernate in further classes. Okay. I want to create first application. So the project structure looks like this. So how does my project looks like? First, for example, my project name is, okay, Hibernate application 1. Now this is my project name first, Hibernate application 1. This is a project. What this project is containing, it's a maven project now. Yes, it is a maven project. It is a maven project. What this project is containing, this project contains, I'll tell you one by one. First of all, what this maven project contains, one folder. What is the folder visible to you? src /main/java. Yes. Observe it. I can say something called what, guys? src/main/java. Look at this. src/main/java. Okay. Our project is going to look like this. At least project structure you should know first. Okay. Understanding the structure will take some time, I know, but still you should know about it. You'll get clarity. You'll be getting a clarity. Under this src/main/java, we have packages. We have some packages. So I will explain what are the packages we are creating here. So one package we are creating. com.ait.entity. What is it? com.ait.entity. What is this? One package. Inside the package, I'm creating one Java class. Student.java. Inside this package, I'm creating one Java class. What's the Java class name? Student.java. Yes, it is what? Student.java. I am also creating one more package inside this. I'm also creating one more package inside this. And that package name is, the next package name is, okay, I'll take some bigger line and I'll explain here. So the next package I'm creating here. And my next package name, I'll tell you, my next package name is, okay, my next package name is com. Okay, com.ait.dao. This is one package. Actually, here what I'm doing is, I will create an interface. We follow interface and implementation class model. First we'll create interface, then we'll add implementation class. Okay. First we create an interface, then we create an implementation class for that. Okay. So my interface name I want to create is student DAO. I'm creating like this. Then I'm creating an implementation class in another package, the sub package. Package name is, the next package name is com.ait.dao.impl. I'm creating one more package called what? com.ait.dao.impl. So here what? Here I want to create one. Here I want to create one implementation class. Here I want to create the implementation class. And that implementation class name is student DAO IMPL. That implementation class name is student DAO IMPL. Next I am creating one client program. So my next package name is com.ait.test or com.ait.client something. com.ait.client. Now this is what? For writing the client program here. Guys, here we are going to write what? Client program. Then what I want to do here, I want to write one. Here I want to write one main program. I want to name my main program is tester.java. My main program name is what here? Tester.java. These are my files. One student.java, student DAO, impl.java, and tester.java. This is my main class. Tester is main class. Next. As you can see, I repeat. You can see that. You can able to see that. There is another folder you can able to see here. That what is it? src/test/java, but we don't touch it because we are now very related with the test cases now. So we are not going to touch it now. But what is the folder visible to you here? src/test/java. Okay. And I told what is another folder that we are manually creating? src/test/resources. src/main/resources. 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 So here is my files. What are the two files I want to create here? I want to create two files here. One is mapping file. Second one is a configuration file. Both are XML files now? Yes, both are XML files. Both are XML files. So means where should I save the XML files like mapping file and the configuration file in this project? In a, yes, in a resources folder. I want to give file name is student.hbm.xml. Next one is hibernate.cfg.xml. Okay. Student.hbm.xml. Next one is what? Hibernate.cfg.xml. Hibernate.cfg.xml. Okay. Then next one is the, of course, what is the main file in the project? pom.xml. So keep that pom.xml also in the project. Project object model. Your project structure looks like this. The first application project will have project structure like this. Yeah. I will add the file name as what? pom.xml. pom.xml. Guys, are you clear? Type C or N. Okay, let's move ahead. We'll move. Good. Good. Now let's start creating the project here. Remember the steps, everyone. Easy to remember them. Let's start creating the first project. Let's start creating the first project. Okay, so this is my Eclipse. Okay, so what should I do first? I should create a new maven project, and this step is the same. Click on next. Wait for some seconds of time to get the data here. So once after getting the data here, choose the filter. What to type in the filter box? Maven -archetype -what? Kickstart. Choose last one from Apache Maven. Again, click on next. Then enter group ID. What's the group ID I have entered? com.ait. Next one, artifact ID. Means what is my project name? Hibernate application 1. Then version. If you want to keep the same version, doesn't matter. All package names I can type or only one I can type. The one I am choosing is entity, or you can add DAO, whatever. But one package name only we can type, not all. com.ait.entity package name. Then click on finish. Click on finish. When you click on finish, on the console, you are getting some information. And at the last, it's asking for your confirmation. Say what? Y. Either in lowercase or uppercase, Y. When you type Y, then you are getting what message? Build success. Okay. You got the project at the left side. Now, in this project, first open the pom.xml file. Pom.xml file. In the project, what you have to open? Pom.xml file you have to open. Okay. Okay, open this pom.xml file. And in this pom.xml file, compiler source and target is there na? Okay, generally nowadays we are working with minimum version Java 8. In the first example, will Java 8. Next, we'll go for Java 11. I want to change from 1.7 to 1.8. 1.7 to 1.8. Save it. Here, in the dependency section, I told this is the main section for us to configure the dependencies. Which dependency I need to configure? Hibernate dependency we need to configure. I'll tell you the main dependency that you need to configure for Hibernate. Okay, right. Different versions are there. I'll give you the correct version. Just a minute. This is what we need to add. Group ID. What's the group ID? arg.hibernate. What's the artifact ID? Hibernate-core. This is the main jar file in Hibernate projects. Next version. What's the version? 5.3.1.final. This version we are using now for our application. Hibernate 5.x version. I just want to copy this. That's the reason why I've opened it. Instead of typing it manually, I want to copy it. Okay. Now look at this. Everyone, now look at this. Now look at this. This is the dependency I've added. This is for whom I'm writing comment. I can write comment here. Comment means I can use exclamation to hyphens. Like in HTML also write comment like this only. So here I can type a comment. This is the Hibernate jar file. What's the main jar file to work with Hibernate? Hibernate-core. This is a main jar file for Hibernate. Use version 5.3.1.final. This is a Hibernate version. Okay. This is a dependency tag you need to write. This is okay. But you also need to write driver dependency. Driver dependency means which database you want to connect with Oracle or MySQL. For connecting with Oracle, OJDBC dependency we need to write. For connecting with MySQL connector Java, that dependency we need to write. So I'm connecting with MySQL. If I'm connecting with MySQL, I need to add the MySQL driver dependency. What dependency? MySQL driver dependency we need to write. Okay, right. I'm writing comment again. What's the comment here? It is MySQL driver. Just comment, only comment. MySQL driver dependency we need to write. Okay. So basically these are the two dependencies we need to write. What are the two dependencies? One is for Hibernate. One is for MySQL driver. Already what is there? Whenever you create the project, already you have JUnit. Already you have what? JUnit. You have JUnit already. Understand me? Got my point, right? You have already what? JUnit. Right. This is what Hibernate-core. This is what MySQL connector Java. This is for Hibernate. This is for MySQL driver. Which database I'm using to connect with my application? MySQL I'm going to use to connect. I'm going to connect with the MySQL. So this is a MySQL connector Java. Are you clear now? Right, very good. After adding the two dependencies like this, go to your project. In the project, even though I have changed it to 1.8 version, but still is showing 1.7. What should I do? 1.7. What should I do? update the project. How can I do that? Right click on the project name, maven update project. Now it is updated to 1.8. Next, I don't have resources folder. What should I do? Create it. How do I create it? Open the src folder, right click on the main folder, new folder. What the folder name? Resources. So type the folder name as resources. Type the folder name as resources. I'll type the folder name as resources. Okay, finish. Remember, what's the folder name? Resources, not resource. And don't do any spelling mistake also. Resource means RESOURCES, not SES. So that spellings also you should take care. And the folder name must be resources, not resource. Once again, right click on the project and maven update the project. Okay. Now we can see src/main/resources. All are there. And by default, our package created now. What is the first package created? com.aat.entity. But what I have to do? Remove the app.java file. Remove the app.java file. Delete it. What is the file I want to create first? Student. So right click on the entity package, com.aat.entity, new class. What is my class name? Student. Student. Click on finish. Okay, this is not a main class. We don't have any public static void main in this. It is not a client program, just a entity class, Pojo class, normal Java class. What are the variables? Private. I can take int or integer. Wrapper class we can use. Integer is wrapper class. Int is primitive data type. Integ or integer is a wrapper class for int. Okay, integer. I can take variable name SID. Next, private, string, yes name. Then next what? Private. Okay, I can say for example string gender. Next one, private integer marks. You can write like this now. Right. Now, remember, for each variable, we have to define setter and getter methods. For each variable, what I should define? Setter and getter methods. I should define setter and getter methods. You know how to create setter getter methods now? And also a default constructor. Of course, if you don't write any constructor in your class, by default, what is created? Default constructor is created now, so I'm not writing any constructor. So just I want setter and getter methods. Source, generate getters and setters. Select all, say generate. Generate. Now we can see that all the setter getter methods are created now. Now what is the class completed? Student. What are the attributes of the student? SID, yes name, gender, marks. Pojo class is created. Okay, we will come in an order. Pojo class is ready. Next, we will start writing the mapping file. Then we'll create the configuration file. Then we will start writing the client programs. Client program means I'm not directly writing the main program. First, I want to write one DAO class. Then I want to write main program. I will call the methods of DAO class from main program. So why I am writing main program? To call the DAO class methods. To call the DAO class. Whenever a DAO class method is called, the DAO class method is going to perform operation on the database. Okay, operation on the database using hibernate. Using hibernate. You got the clarity now? Right. So far, what is completed? Once again, just rewind yourself. I'm taking a gap of 1 minute. Rewind yourself, everybody, what I did just inside yourself. Inside yourself, everyone. Rewind what I have so far explained. Rewind what I have did. Rewind yourself what I did. What are the dependencies I have added? Rewind once. What are the things I have done so far? Rewind once, whatever I did. Rewind once, what I have explained you so far. Everyone, you please rewind all these things once. Okay, now that's cool. Okay, remember these are the dependencies I have added. Dependencies. These are what I have added. Okay, this is for hibernate. This is for hibernate jar files. This is for driver, MySQL driver jar file. Like this, we need to add in the pom.xml file. Okay. After that, I have created one Java file. What is my name? Student.java file. Next, what I have to write? Mapping file I have to write. What is it? Mapping file. But where can I save that mapping file? Where can I store that file in the project? At which location I can store this mapping file? Under the resources folder. Under the resources folder. What is the file I want to create? What is the file I want to create? Hibernate mapping file. What is the name of the file I gave in the project structure? Student.hbm.xml, right? Okay. Okay. See, look at this. I am right clicking on src/main/resources. I'm going to right click here. Once I right click there, I get an option called new. Then I can go for file. What the option? File. Just file. Click on the file. Enter what? File name. What's the file name? Student. Everything in lowercase only. Student.hbm.xml. Finish. You can see at the right, at the left side, what's the file name? Student.hbm.xml. Yes, we got it. At the right side, you got one design. This document is empty. You have two tabs at the bottom. On the bottom, you are finding two tabs, design tab and source tab. Currently, this is which tab is open? Design tab is open. What should I do now? Click on source tab. Now source tab is open. Here I should start writing the mapping file. How do you write the mapping file? What's the root tag of writing it? Hibernate-mapping. Actually, on top of this, I should copy paste some DTD. I'll tell you how to copy paste it. You have to copy paste only. First, I will complete this. Then I will copy paste something on top of it. On top of this, something I need to copy paste there. I'll tell you what to copy paste. But first, let us complete this now. What's the root tag? Hibernate-mapping. You know this point already. What is the parent tag under this? Class. Class has a name. What is the name of the class? com.ait.entity.student. You know that, right? com.ait.entity is the package name. Student is the class name. So what is the fully qualified name? com.ait.entity.what? Student. Then what? Table. Table. Suppose my table name in the database is, suppose I'm writing student underscore tab. Just isn't. So tell me, what is my table name in the database? Student underscore tab is my table name. Okay, this is my table name. Student underscore tab is my table name, or any other name, something. Okay, for example, I'm writing TBL underscore student. So what is my table name? TBL underscore student. This is what name of the table. In the database, have this table. Assume that. Under class, there is an attribute called ID. There is a tag called ID, child tag. ID has an attribute called name. Name equal to SID. Column equal to SID. Slash close means self-closing. Means what you are mapping SID variable to SID column. SID is a primary key column now. So primary key column is mapped with ID. And other properties are mapped with property. Today we are writing in XML. This is only one example we will contain mapping in XML. But from the next example, mapping is also done with annotations. And we never use again this file. This is the only first time and last time we are writing in our class. Okay, property. What is the property name? Yes name. Remaining properties are properties. Yes name. Column. What is the column name? Yes name. Yes name to yes name. Next, again property. Name equal to gender. Column equal to gender. Assume that. Next one, property. Name equal to marks. Even column also marks. Assume that. So what file is ready now? Mapping file is ready. And here variable name SID in the class. Column name SID in the table. If both names are same, we can write in shortcut also. What is the shortcut? We can avoid column attribute. Here also we can avoid column attribute. Here also we can avoid column attribute. Here also we can avoid column attribute because column name is matching with variable name. Column name is matching with variable name. So column name is matching with the variable name, then we can avoid column attribute. We can avoid column attribute. Are you clear? Yes. Yes. On top of this, I'll tell you. Hibernate mapping DTD, we need to copy this XML. And I don't want to explain much on this because it's not required. So only one example we are writing. We never write again. So mapping DTD, we need to copy. Hibernate mapping DTD, we need to copy. Open one existing example in Google. I'm opening that. Google. Okay. HBM.xml file in Hibernate. Any website. XYZ, any website. Here is the copy paste. Copy this DTD. Copy this DTD. Hibernate mapping 3.0.DTD is there. Na? This one you copy and paste here. Paste here. Paste here. So this is copy paste only. Any one example you open in Google. Hibernate mapping DTD. Copy the first lines up to DTD. Copy it and paste into your file. Then you start writing Hibernate -mapping. This is what you have to do. Don't give any empty line above this first XML tag. This is not correct. This is not correct. This is a wrong XML. This XML version tag must be at first line. This is correct. It is correct. Okay, right. So currently today what is completed? HBM.xml file. Tomorrow we will start continuation for configuration file and remaining code. First example we will complete tomorrow. Today we started, tomorrow we'll finish it. Okay, na? Right, guys. That's for today. Yeah, guys. Are clear? Everyone? Have you understood what I just want to ask you to copy paste? Okay. Everybody. Everybody, are you understood?